we were excited to open up Midco last week. On the road again, CCHA play, headed up to Bemidji, and we'll have our hands full with the Beavers. So open to questions.
How about the environment Friday and Saturday? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, and it's there's a bonus for our guys that have been around for a while and myself to watch it grow, and that's another step. And with all that was going on, pretty cool on the plaza before the game, the fans that showed up early, and then how it continued to fill in as the game wore on. And at the end, too, I felt like we built off the momentum Friday to get a victory. And then our guys were excited to play in that environment again on Saturday, and we're able to get the weekend done.
It's hard to get a sweep against a really good team. That had to be pretty rewarding for them.
Yeah, I think, like I said before Saturday's game, I was excited to see how our guys would respond after a win. We'd had a little experience in Duluth with how they responded after a loss on a Friday, but for our guys to come out with a strong first period on Saturday, it wasn't our best, but I felt like we got some traction, and there was an energy that propelled us through the second that really was the difference.
Friday night you got behind, it took a while to finally get a goal.
Yep.
Saturday, it seemed like that was really important to come out and score.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Sometimes it's easier when you're chasing a game to play hard and you're just clawing to get back into it, and you're going to need everyone. But Saturday we were able to get a lead, and now can you extend the lead? Can you keep your foot on the gas and continue to push? And we let up a little bit at the end of the first period on Saturday, but I think we found it in the second and then continued it through the third.
Is Josh going to be your main guy in goal all the time, or will anybody else you can get a chance to stick behind?
Yeah, he will be Friday. It's about as much as we know. It's early in a season. We're really happy with our goalie group. Similar to last year, Josh is not giving his coaching staff much of a choice. We hope that continues, but if it doesn't, we have other bodies that we think are more than capable.
Coach, I got to ask about it. You're over in the power play weekend.
Yeah.
Lost the face-off battle tonight, but you still come away with the sweep. I mean, can you just sort of talk about going back to practice, with that winning, those wins behind you, and being able to kind of still know that there's a lot of room for growth?
Yeah, I think you want your guys to feel some success, knowing that there is a lot of room for growth. It's still very early in a season. There's guys that have to rise, especially on the power play. There's two units that we've been playing. We've identified some reasons that it hasn't had success. We feel like we've had some good looks. We had good looks last week, and we weren't able to find the back of the net. And you look from one week into the next, score 2 power play goals up in Duluth, one of which I think was a major factor in Saturday's victory. You come back, again, it's one weekend, but it's important you grow, and if you're going to get opportunities, as you see in Bemidji with their St. Cloud series and Duluth series, those teams took advantage on the power play. Those games were tightly contested, and the power play broke it open. Hopefully our group has some personnel that step up, and we're able to find some consistency and some results there.
Talked about positionally last week, how the guys played the system well in PK, but this week it seemed to be the case, especially on just 5-on-5 play. They were on the right side of the puck a lot of the times. How do you hope to see that evolve, not only just with the power play like we were just talking about, but just 5-on-5?
Well, we've got to get to our hockey, and that's the biggest thing. We're 2 weeks in. You're trying to get your team to play their style, what you value, but you have an eye toward your opponent. We felt like we got to our speed game. We felt like there was more transition play. We felt like breakouts were cleaner. To complement another team, we watched Duluth against Fairbanks. Okay, the way it matched up, we saw Arizona State versus Fairbanks. The growth that Fairbanks showed from week 1 to week 2 was something I wanted for our group. I felt like if we could match what Fairbanks did in terms of just getting better, that we would have a good chance. Our guys answered the bell. Now here's another opportunity this week, and what you guys have to realize as a coach, we're dealing with some human nature in this series. A group that just won at home, big celebration on Friday, Saturday night. Now you have Bemidji. Okay, they've dropped 4 straight. They probably want nothing more than to play Friday and just be done with practice. They're a better team than you would think looking at the last 4 games. They're very much a Beaver team that we're familiar with, that's given us fits. I think they're a splash better in terms of their talent. Our guys need to understand how hard it's going to be. There's a lot on our side, too. The team ended our season last year. It's the first week in league play. League points on the line. There's a lot that goes into it. For us as a staff, and I think our guys are in a good place right now, you have to ground yourself and get back to getting better with your own game. And we got to be ready for what the Beavers can do.
There's no team in the league that you know more than this Bemidji team. What have you learned the most about it in the last couple of years? I think 7 times.
There's not a such thing as an easy night, an easy period, an easy shift. These guys, and this is 14 years of coaching, 4 years of playing against Bemidji State, and it's a handful every night. It's just they're so hard to play against. They're wave on wave. Their structure, their skating, there's physicality. They make ice really hard, and if you can crack the game open, maybe things will come a little easier. But historically, those nights just don't happen. And you're seeing it with what we've seen of the Beavers already. Like they're a darn good team. They're really hard to play against. They're young in some areas. They're going to continue to get better. Look at how they've started some seasons, and then they go on to win the league title. That coaching staff does a really good job. Those kids really want to play for that program. There's a lot of pride. I think there's a Hall of Fame night going to be on Saturday for their program. History, tradition. It's going to be a good weekend of hockey and something that we're going to need to be ready for, no doubt.
There's so many guys back from the team last year that were on the ice when the season ended against Bemidji. How much of an incentive is it for them to go and play them again?
It feels with some of our older guys that have returned that night, that Sunday we walked out of Midco Arena that ended our season, that it was just yesterday. There's a calm that we've seen in the first couple days of practice that I think that I've appreciated because we have to still work. We're very much in the work growth stage of our season. Guys have got to take in a lot, process it, and put it to use. And I think they're in a good headspace to do that right now. Doesn't change anything we're going to walk into at Bemidji, but I like how our guys have carried themselves in the early going.
How about Leo? Rookie of the week. Just to see a freshman get rewarded here in the early going. What does that say?
I was excited for Leo. Leo didn't play Friday up in Duluth. Leo's been working to acclimate to college hockey. Leo's details and how he plays the game and the predictability within it is growing. The greatest thing for Leo is his energy was fantastic. I think if anyone that was in the crowd here Friday or Saturday noticed him right away because he was just working his tail off. And that's kind of a trump card you can lay down in hockey. If you can skate like him and you compete like him, there's a good chance you're going to be able to get your opportunities, and we know he can finish when he does.